I was today years old when I realized that the Bible gives us a great example of what we've heard called destiny swapping. So in 1 Kings chapter 3, there's a story about two women who were living together with no men, and they both had a baby. And so in the middle of the night, one woman rolls over and lays on her baby and unfortunately unalives her baby. And so the other woman, her baby's still alive. So instead of accepting the consequences for her actions and mourning loss of her child, she decides to swap babies with the other woman, to trick the other woman into thinking that her baby is actually unalive versus the truth. And so when the other woman wakes, she goes, to feed her baby as per usual, and she realizes something's off with her baby. So then she takes an extra look, her discernment kicking in. She takes an extra look and she notices, wait a second, this is not my baby. And hold up, this baby is not alive. And so that's when she realized something's wrong here. And then she noticed that the other woman obviously had the alive baby. And so what she did, instead of fighting this woman for her baby back, she went to King Solomon, who was king at the time. And when I thought about this, it's like very symbolic of like God. So she went to King Solomon for justice. She came to him and just spoke the truth. She told him what happened. And the other lady was like, that's not true. This is my baby and that is her baby. And so in Solomon's wisdom, he asked both women, all right, well, how about we just split the baby in half? And you get one half, you get the other half. He knew what he was asking and why he was asking that. And so then the lady whose child it actually was alive, she was like, you know what? Actually, she can just have the baby. Basically, she wanted to spare the baby's life more than she wanted to be right. And so the other lady was like, let's split them in half and neither one of us will have a baby. Lesson here. That the woman that lost her baby, one thing I noticed with that is she was struggling to sit in that grief alone. She wanted someone else to experience that grief with her, which is why she swapped out the babies and was comfortable with them both losing their baby, because she had lost her baby and did not want to witness someone else with what she had lost. The other lesson here is, instead of sitting in the consequences of her actions and healing and growing and taking accountability, she chose to be sneaky and swap the babies in the middle of the night so that someone else could carry her grief and her loss and her consequences, and she didn't have to. And that's what destiny swapping is, when someone else is placing their loss, their grief, their consequences, their shame, their guilt onto you and taking on your light, your blessings, etc. And so the wisest thing that the woman with the alive baby did was take it directly to God, aka when she took it to Solomon, because God sees all things. God is the keeper and giver of wisdom. And so in God's wisdom, he was able to discern the truth, because he sees the heart. And he was able, because at the end of the day, she was able to get her baby, because once he saw how they both responded to his suggestion, he was able to officially see who the baby actually belonged to. And she ended up getting the baby restored back to her. And so it's the same when we take our issues to God. When we notice that we're carrying something that does not belong to us, whether it be grief, whether it be insecurities, whether it be projection, pain, failure, judgment, whatever it is that you're carrying that does not belong to you, take it to God. Don't try to go fight the person, because God sees everything. God can measure the heart of man, and God has the wisdom to restore everything back to you in the most perfect way, just like he did for her. So whether it's your peace, whether it's your confidence, whether it's your sound mind, whether it's some physical belongings, whatever the case may be, take it to God and let God do the fighting for you, and let God restore everything that was taken from you. And know that nobody can keep what God has divinely aligned specifically for you, especially through lies and deception. And so our job is to be discerning Because the quicker we can discern when we're carrying something that's not ours and when we are operating from a perspective that is not ours, the quicker we can take it to God and the quicker God can restore us through his wisdom and truth. Again, God sees it all. He sees everything. He's seeing all of it happen. So again, that discernment is going to save you time and headache.